What's up, bosses? Hope you're staying safe and healthy out there. We've got a lot packed into this week's show, including Arizona's latest effort to help drivers find parking. We dive into the reason for those low fuel prices. We sit down with the president and CEO of Women in Trucking, and we find out what OOIDA is doing to help drivers during these trying times. But before we get to that, during these times, it's important to protect your property, especially the trucks that are your livelihood. That's why we sat down with insurance expert Mark Holland. We aired his first interview last week, and this week we share the rest of it. Check it out. There's not a day that goes by that somebody hasn't been handed down a $40 million plus nuclear verdict. But how do these impact even the small owner-operators, who have one or two trucks?
If they've got a DOT-registered truck, they're going to be treated the same in the eyes of the court as a large national trucking company. The fact that they have a CDL license and that they're a DOT-registered vehicle, they're held to a much higher legal standard than somebody that's driving a service pickup or box truck around town.
Obviously, these nuclear verdicts, insurance premiums are going to rise. Why exactly is that?
The commercial auto sector of the insurance industry is $40 billion a year. The insurance industry has not made a dime of profit for 9 years in the commercial auto space, with truckers being the biggest part of that. There was an article I read not long ago, and it was talking about the largest 200 verdicts in the country. And in as short a time as 5 years, it had gone from an average of 26 million up to 52 million. A lot of that is the changing attitude of the courts with social justice. So the attorneys try to influence the jurors through this reptilian portion of their brain that, they need to protect society from truckers, for example. And so they will influence them to go, look, you have the right and the power to change this, and if you don't, then you continue to put society at risk. And by handing out a big judgment and punishing the person that did it, it will also deter others from doing it, and you can help protect society.
So what are some of the precautions that drivers can take to better defend themselves and kind of give them the extra edge?
Slow down, be careful, pay attention, stay off your cell phone, anything that distracts you. Most trucking companies will have what they call a one-touch rule, to where if that person can utilize that electronic device with one touch, which is just to answer the call, then that's acceptable. But if they have to take it into their hands, then that's normally against every trucking company's policy.
And so another thing that you had mentioned are cameras. Run us through that one more time.
Forward-facing cameras, to where it films the accident at the time that it happens. Normally, these cameras will only come on whenever the truck brakes abruptly, exceeds the standard speed limit, swerves, whatever it might be. It activates the camera. Then if a crash occurs, you have a record.
Obviously, you have a phone number, website, things like that. Let us know about all that so they can find you.
The website is www.universalinsurance.com. So they can get us there. Obviously, our phone numbers are there.
We will be having Mark on the show more often moving forward, and he'll be answering all your insurance-based questions. So shoot us a message with any questions you have. Now let's head over to Isela, who tells us how Arizona will soon provide more parking spaces for drivers during these trying times.
Carlin, we know that truck parking has been an issue for truck drivers. So Arizona Department of Transportation has announced that they are on top of it, like working on it ASAP. This $3.98 million project has been considered an emergency due to the pandemic. The Arizona DOT Director, John Holowski, stated, this project helps everyone get safely home by making it easier for long-haul truck drivers to get the rest they need while they support our communities, adding a total of 37 parking spaces in the Haviland Rest area located on I-40 west of Kingman. To read the full article, make sure you check out the link below. Nikki, now can I get a drum roll, please? This pandemic has been tough for everyone. If you feel you're the only one that can't find hand sanitizer, well, let me inform you that you're not the only one. Our professional drivers who have been hitting the road every day also have a shortage. The American Trucking Association and Protective Insurance Company are hooking up our drivers. They are distributing 10 55-gallon drums to refill their very own personal bottles at no charge. The drums will be placed in various locations along major corridors. Now, to find out where those locations are, we have provided the link, so check it out. Carlin, did I hear you say earlier low fuel cost?
Thanks, Isela. If you've been on the road during this pandemic, you've noticed the lower fuel prices. The average price for a gallon of diesel this week is sitting around $2.40, which is about 75 cents cheaper than it was a year ago. But why is there such a drop? Well, earlier this year, OPEC failed to strike a deal between Russia and Saudi Arabia, instigating an all-out price war. Then, weeks later, well, the pandemic hit, which drove global demand to unanticipated lows, which means the crude oil storage facilities, like the U.S.'s largest above-ground facility in Cushing, Oklahoma, are at capacity. It can hold about 76 million barrels. At the end of April, it only had space left for about 16 million barrels, but the remaining space is already spoken for. These oversupplies caused major panic, and the May oil contract hit minus $37, the first time U.S. crude ended in negative territory in history. Now, the prices have been very volatile, but have recovered at least a bit. The U.S. crude for delivery in June closed at $20 a barrel, so there was a bit of a rebound. However, experts anticipate the oil sector will never fully recover. However, this isn't an issue that's just impacting the U.S. It's a problem for the whole world, forcing countries to cut their production and exports. Now let's head back to Isela, who had a chance to have a one-on-one interview with the Women in Trucking president and CEO.
Carlin, you know I love it when I hear women join the industry and join forces with fellow male drivers. If you haven't heard, well, let me tell you that women in trucking are out there doing big things and nothing has held them back, not even the pandemic. They have a group of women, and believe it or not, men as well. Let's go check out Miss Ellen Voie.
Well, today we have a special guest. We have Miss Ellen Voie. She is president and CEO of Women in Trucking. Ellen, thank you for being with us on the show.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me.
So, Ellen, talk to us about Women in Trucking. Tell us what you guys do and all the amazing things that's going on.
Well, Women in Trucking is a nonprofit organization. We're dues-based. We have about 5,200 members in 10 countries, and 15% of our members are men because they believe in our mission. And so our mission is pretty simple. It's to encourage the employment of women in the trucking industry. And that's all women. And I like to say it's the women who design the trucks, build the trucks, sell the trucks, fix the trucks, own the trucks, drive the trucks. So we represent all women in the trucking industry because it's still a very male-dominated environment.
Some of your women, you have some that are moms, you know, they still have children at home, but then you also have women who are older and they're just, is it more of a, I want something different in life. Let me do something for a change where I want to travel and just see different things.
Well, that's a great question because the average age of a female driver is right around 50. And so the typical female driver who comes into the industry does so because of a family member or friend. In fact, 83% come into the industry because somebody has convinced them, typically a husband, boyfriend, significant other, who says, hey, the kids are grown and they're out of the house. So why don't you go get your CDL and come out on the road with me?
I love the fact that Women in Trucking isn't just all women across the board. There's no discrimination. You also have your men involved and you guys are teaming up and doing it together. So I can say that, great job.
Well, thank you. And I like to tell people we're not necessarily for women, we're about women. We're about getting women into the industry. And so we have to understand, you know, why do women come into trucking? Why do they leave trucking? How do we attract them? And how do we empower them? So that's what we're all about. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. And I hope that people will visit our website. It's www.womenintrucking.org.
And that's what Women in Trucking are doing. To see more of what they have done and continue to do, we have included their link below. You may also catch the full interview on our next week playlist extras. Carlin, what's the 411 on OOIDA?
Thanks, Isela. It's a tough time in the country. Many businesses are struggling, including you owner-operators. But OOIDA is working to help you guys out. I sat down with the organization's VP to talk about what they're doing for you.
While the country attempts to ease back into normalcy, lawmakers and citizens alike are looking back at the challenges and struggles that faced us during the COVID-19 pandemic. For drivers, the problems they faced were many of the same issues they deal with on a daily basis. These are issues the Owner-Operator Independent Driver Association, OOIDA, work every day to fix. During these trying times, they're in overdrive trying to get things done.
Which they've waived hours of service, of course, but I mean, it shows there's no flexibility in hours of service. That's the reason they waived them. Truck parking was a problem and has finally come to the forefront. The lifestyle that truckers have to lead a little bit, you know, it's a rough lifestyle. Driver pay, I've heard mentioned. There's some of the stuff that the way brokers, unfortunately, some brokers are unscrupulous in how they're treating truckers and not paying truckers and kind of skimming the system, for lack of better terms.
Before the outbreak, they were pushing for lawmakers to pass the Truck Parking Safety Improvement Act and continue to ask for their support of the bill.
We are reminding lawmakers that this is out there. This would be something good for lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to get behind and to sponsor and to get this passed, because they can see drivers, unfortunately, they don't have anywhere to park out there. They didn't have it before and they have less right now.
They're also working on making sure drivers get paid their fair share.
This is one step that we would like to see with the Fair Labor Standards Act. If we remove that to where a driver's time is worth something. It's very sad that these guys are out on the road working. It's really brought to light how hard they work now, but unfortunately they get paid piecework. The only time they get paid is when they're moving.
And they're helping drivers who have been financially impacted by the pandemic, giving them the resources to try and get some help from the government.
One thing we'd like to see, and we've been in contact with lawmakers and stuff, is we would like to see where, because most small business guys, they don't have employees. They don't have drivers or anything, so it's not like there's some of this money you can get for the PPP and stuff to keep your people working. They don't really qualify for it. So what we'd like to see is in this next round, we're trying, is maybe some sort of step where they could get some forgiveness on truck payment. They could get a loan to pay their truck payments and their insurance payments and stuff like that, and get a forgiveness on that. Just like companies who are taking this money, who have employees, they're getting forgiveness if they don't lay their people off.
But much like the rest of the country, the organization is looking forward, preparing for when life returns to normal.
We were hoping there'd be a highway bill this year. Probably with all this stuff, realistically, there may not be. In the highway bill, things we're watching out for and keeping an eye open is insurance minimums, of course, tolling, stuff like that.
Man, great job to OOIDA, out there helping those owner-operators. And if you need any information, just hit up their website. We will have a link posted in the comments below, so that way you have quick access to it.
It's always nice to know, Carlin, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but I see you catch your breath. But to see how a lot of people are coming together to help out our drivers, and everybody just comes together to help everyone out. Not necessarily our drivers, but that's just who we are. I like that.
It's great to see right now in this pandemic, everybody working together.
Yes.
So tell us about this extra, though.
Well,
we got an awesome one
yes,
coming
we
up.
do, and that's because of it's backed by popular demand. Everybody loves the famous and popular Peterbilt Steve. So on this week's Extras playlist, we're going to be having a full story on him, so you don't want to miss out on that. He is a really cool guy, though. I really like him.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not just the trucks that he looks at that's really cool. He himself is just an awesome guy. So be sure to tune in and check that one out. And don't forget,
Friday giveaway.
This week, we are giving away a portable, what is this? A portable saucepan? Oh, yeah. And a koozie.
A koozie.
Yeah. But we know right now that you can officially start getting back into restaurants and everything. But if you're not really ready to risk it just yet, we'll hook you up with one of these. You can make some chili. You can do whatever you want in this little saucepan. Boom, you're good to go.
Cook yourself up a meal and then keep your drink cold. So
that's right.
You already
Hot meal,
know.
Cold drink.
We're going to be hooking you up this Friday, so stay tuned.
And it's Isela's week, so she's going to be doing something pretty crazy,
pretty
cool. And we actually have something awesome to announce.
We do.
We just hit more than 100,000 followers.
Actually, we surpassed that.
Yeah, we blew that out of the water. So we are continuing to grow every day. So thank you guys so much for supporting us and letting us be a part of your lives. But continue to support us, like, share, subscribe, invite your friends, invite your family to like us. That way we can keep bringing you this awesome information and keeping you have jobs.
Updated. True, but we keep them updated on what's going on in the industry. And of course, Truck Boss Show, that's how we do it. We're here to lighten up your day and have some fun with it.
That's right.
And
this is a fun job, and we can't do it without you guys. So, and the real reason we do this is
because you're the boss.